What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wars in the Stars, episode number 60. It's been kind of like a lot of weeks since Alex and I talked. I don't know. It felt like it was very long since we last talked.
It's
I don't
only
know
been a
why.
week.
I know, but it just felt very
Mm.
long. I don't know. It felt like a long
I
week to me.
think I think it's because a lot has happened.
A lot has happened, and a lot hasn't happened. Thor: Love and Thunder. Um,
You know what? Honestly, dude,
is
I
that
had a
movie
few
coming out?
I had a few friends talking about it, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, all the movies coming out this year," and I was like, "Are you guys excited for Thor: Love and Thunder?" And they're like, "That's coming out this year."
Right. So, uh, I remember when we were doing this and we were talking about when's No Way Home going to get its first trailer. We were kind of concerned. We are now at the point where No Way Home had its first trailer before Love and
Yeah.
Thunder even got its. I mean, we don't have a poster yet for Love and Thunder.
We have more leaks about stuff than anything. The only official Thor: Love and Thunder stuff we have are those Lego sets.
Yeah, and then it's really weird that the movie is less than 4 months out now. We don't have anything.
Hmm.
Uh, Especially with Doctor Strange 2 has gotten such good marketing at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very odd. Uh,
When do
Usually
you?
not typical of Marvel.
Yeah.
Sony did it. Sony did it for Spider-Man, but like
Yeah.
very odd for Marvel Studios and Disney.
When are you expecting a trailer? I was
I
expecting one last
honestly,
week.
I heard when I heard that there was I was in my study hall when Miss Marvel trailer dropped, and when I heard a Marvel trailer dropped, I said, "Oh, Thor: Love and Thunder," and I'm like, "I dropped a Miss Marvel trailer." I'm like, "That's
Yeah.
weird." Which again, no problem with it, but it's like I feel like next week,
We better. When does it come out? July?
July, first week of July.
I think is it
Is
July
is it the 5th, 7th, 6th?
8th? That's the Friday that week.
Okay.
Unless you're counting the literal first 2 days of July, which are the first and the second, which are on a Friday and Saturday,
Yeah.
which I don't think it is.
Yeah. By the way, I was doing our schedule because obviously we had release dates for Miss Marvel. It's insane. There's like 1 week where we have to review Kenobi. Let me look at this. We have to like I mean there's like 4 weeks now where we have to review two shows.
Yeah, which that's gonna be so. Kenobi comes out the 25th. We'll have on the 1st of June, we'll have a Kenobi episode 2 review and a Miss Marvel preview.
Right.
And then we'll have Miss Marvel episode 1 review, episode 3 Kenobi review, and then so on and so forth
And
for a
then
long time.
the week that Miss Marvel has its own spotlight, Thor: Love and Thunder comes out that week. So we will
Yeah.
have a Love and Thunder preview, Miss Marvel episode 5 review, and then the following week Miss Marvel will finally be on its own. So crazy stuff. And then Andor right now rumored to come out in August to be the next big Disney Plus release. Uh so next week we're gonna do a Moon Knight preview, but I gotta talk to Alex about when you can do it because you got your meet in next week, correct?
Yeah. So I have a my job has instated a monthly like job meeting, like we all get together and talk, basically just getting everyone in and discussing some things. So next week it will not be at 8 o'clock. I think, what are we still looking forward to doing, either before I have to go or potentially Thursday or
Potentially
another day?
Thursday. I think Thursday might just work. It'll be fine. We'll have
Yeah.
to figure it all out when an actual show comes out. And I will be fine
Yeah.
with that. I don't think it would be a problem. And
Yeah.
it's kind of nice that we have this crazy schedule for me in the summer, right? Because I was obviously gonna be transitioned into a freshman in college, so it's kind of nice to have that before all the craziness. So it's just a wait and see type of deal. But yeah, we're supposed to talk about Rebels season 3 and 4. Um, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, so we'll kind of keep it. I mean, we'll probably talk about it for an hour, knowing us. But
Yeah.
um, overall, Alex, I'll say as it's probably my second time fully really watching it. I think the show got better and better for me. I think season 3, in my opinion, is the best season because it doesn't necessarily, and it's not a bad thing. What I'm about to say, it doesn't necessarily rely on past characters necessarily, like Clone Wars characters. It does a good
Mhm.
job making me care about Sabine, obviously, right? With Trials of the Darksaber,
Yeah.
Ezra and Kanan, especially. I Kanan's arc's really interesting to me because I loved him in season 1 and 2, but then I also loved him when he became blind, when he became more of
Yeah.
the stoic,
Yeah.
more of the traditional Jedi. By the way, I don't know how he shaved. I am still so
Uh,
confused.
well, he even said like he didn't have a good mirror to look at,
Right.
so he couldn't shave very well. But you got to think, like, in the old days, that's how people would shave. Like they would
Yeah.
bring a knife to their face and literally
Right.
just scrape hair off. Like that literally just like sent chills down my spine thinking about it. Like, could you imagine being not only blind but having to use a knife and
Right.
cut the back of your
I
head
mean,
off?
you. Yeah, I mean, you cut yourself with the razor. I mean, imagine using like a knife to do like your beard. Like, oh,
Literally. Like he has to go over all this area. Could you just imagine you just accidentally go, all
yeah,
of a
it's
sudden
just
he's
like
smiling like the joke.
like the Joker. Yeah, yeah.
He's a Jedi. He can see without seeing.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so I also kind of I want to ask you because I'm really confused about this. So for me, how I interpreted the episode before Jedi Knight,
Was that Rebel Assault or whatever?
right on Lothal, it's when Hera gets captured by
Yeah,
by the way, that that dude smells things. What's his Rook?
Rook.
Not a big fan.
No, he's so much better in Legends. I wished he was as good as he was in Legends. His and Thrawn's story in Legends is so awesome. If you don't
So what's
know,
up with that? What's up with that? What's up? What's up with them in Legends?
in Legends, he plays the same role. He's basically Thrawn's assassin, but in
Hmm.
Legends, he assassinates Thrawn.
Oh, really?
And
Or
in
I mean,
this,
oh, really? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and in this show, he went out by getting blown up, or no, electrocuted to death,
Yeah, and then blown up.
and then then blown up.
Yeah. Um, yeah, he was weird. It just felt odd. Like
I
his
wouldn't,
introduction is him literally sniffing, and I'm
yeah,
like, okay.
I wouldn't say that he was bad in the show. It's just like, but if you compare him to what he was in Legends, he's nothing,
But
nowhere
also, it's
near the
just like
same.
he's introduced like so late in the game. He's introduced in season 4. It's like
Yeah,
I don't get enough time.
they should have brought him with Thrawn, like as
Yeah,
his right hand man, kind of like how they introduced Maul and Sidious in Phantom Menace.
absolutely, absolutely, I agree. So there's a specific scene where the Loth Wolves stop Kanan from getting Hera,
Mm-hmm.
and then that scene abruptly cuts away, and I interpreted it right away as, like that's when Kanan knew how he was gonna die, because my big problem with Jedi Knight, and I want to preface this, I didn't remember what episode Kanan died in, but right away from the dialogue, and it was way before they get into where the oil depot is or whatever they call it. It's the oil or whatever for the
Fuel.
the TIE Defender. Yeah, yeah, fuel. Um,
Mm.
so I really think right then and there he knows how he's gonna die, but I feel like the episode like kind of telegraphs it just by his dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. I love Jedi Knight. I think it's the best episode in the show. But once you know he dies in that episode, you always see it coming. Not in a way that's like, oh, no, duh. You know it's the episode where he dies. You can just kind of see, okay, this was like too obvious of setup in some points. Like the whole thing of like him saying how he would say "May the Force be with you." He would say it so like melancholy, like so sad.
Right.
It's like why are you saying why are you saying it so sad? Like we've done this multiple times of saving Hera specifically,
Correct. Yeah.
and it's like
And
the
then
random haircut that he gets. You're just like, what's the point of all this? Like,
right,
could you
like
imagine like love of your life is captioned? You're just like, hold on, gotta get a haircut first.
right, like it's very the haircut thing is always like in general in real life. I mean, this is very true. People will get a haircut as like a symbol of the new them. So like that's
Mm.
very much Kanan in this. Like he
Oh,
is
new me.
knew you.
New me.
He is very much at this point kind of you think he's foreshadowed his death, or he's been told at least.
Yeah,
Um, and I really love what they do with his character because technically through the Force he's not dead. He's a Loth Wolf now. He's very
yeah.
much a part of the living Force. Um,
It's weird because it gives kind of more into Ezra's connection to animals.
right.
Like his master transcends into being an animal, and so it's like, whoa. It's
It's
like,
like a new way of like Obi-Wan's dialogue in the original trilogy where like we will always be with you.
yeah.
Right? It's like instead of Kanan being a force ghost, he's now just a creature that can't verbally talk, but is still helping
I
guide
mean,
Ezra.
he can
And
talk. He can't. He says some words. He goes like, "Doom."
yeah, it's really terrifying. I have to say, it is terrifying.
Could you imagine your master just dies, the person who you see as a father figure, and then this wolf just keeps saying his last name, just roaring it at you. Doom.
Do you think there was like a prophecy for Kanan or Caleb Doom that was his destiny no matter what? Or do you think the Loth Wolves like just selected him through the Force? It's very weird to me. The
Eh,
Loth Wolves are fascinated to me, but they're very weird.
it's to me, it's a thing of like Kanan said something in I think season 2 where it's like Lothal always, or there's something always drawing us back to Lothal,
Right. Yep.
and so it's just like, but when you think about him becoming a Loth Wolf, you're just like, well, yeah, I can see why, because they need you to come back to become a Loth Wolf. And so I don't know. I think it was maybe predestined for him to become a Loth Wolf because it's like he said, they're always somehow drawn back.
Right. Now, Noah Filoni, do you think he plays a future in the Filoni verse?
I don't know because Kanan makes a vocal appearance in The Rise of Skywalker,
Right.
and so who's to say that he doesn't come back? Either like to guide Ezra or what? Like, who knows?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And I will say they do a better job with Ezra's sacrifice. Doesn't feel as
Really?
I think so. It
I
doesn't feel
mean,
as
mm, it's so weird because while I kind of agree, um, it's just like I love so much about Kanan's death. It sounds weird,
yeah,
but
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Ezra's kind of felt like what happened.
Why? Or
Yeah,
like yeah,
it kind of felt like this. Like, what was the point if you were gonna leave it up in the air? With Kanan's, it felt absolute, especially with the World Between Worlds after. It
right.
felt like even Ahsoka said, like, you can't bring him back. And it's like, okay, well, and then we know we're gonna get Ezra back in either Ahsoka or another live action show.
Definitely as Ahsoka.
Well, no, I'm
Yeah,
thinking
it's
like Ahsoka could be
oh,
like an
yeah.
end thing, like at the very end of Ahsoka,
Yeah.
we get him back.
Now, that is really odd to me. Now, I love like what the Bendu says. It's like I see you dying, or I see you and your fate ending with arms wrapped around you, and like Thrawn's obviously wrapped around by the Purgil.
Mm.
My thing with that is like, okay, uh, so Ezra's just gone. Like it's a really weird way for like Filoni to end the show. Like
It's it's abrupt.
The Clone Wars felt final, right? When we ended it and see it's
Yeah,
everything's over. We got Vader. We know what happens. But with this, we don't necessarily know what happens to Ezra. But it's just like,
yeah.
oh, Ezra's gone. But there was no indication at that point that we would ever get a continuation of this
But
story.
and I'll say that I think that's probably my biggest gripe with Filoni and how he does Star Wars is ever since the Disney acquisition, every show that he ends on either a open-ended thing or like a big cliffhanger for like to come in the future. And so it's just like for me, I'm just like, did he die? Did he not die? And then it's a thing for me. It's like how season 2 of Rebels ended, where you're just like, did she die or did she not? Like there's no
Right.
like in my opinion, there was no point to leave his death a mystery. I think you should just say it, or he did or he didn't. Because
Yeah.
I feel like if you say he did die, well then I think there's meaning there. He sacrificed himself for the planet he's worked so hard to free. But then I
Hmm.
feel like if you say, oh, he didn't die, he's just been with Thrawn for
A decade now.
a,
10 years.
a decade. And you're
So
just
like,
like, Luke never felt his presence. Palpatine never felt his presence. Vader never felt his presence. Like, you would have thought, like, let's say we go down the rabbit hole that Ezra begins to turn to the dark side. You're telling me that Luke, Vader, Palpatine would have never felt that shift? And you're going to tell me if Ezra Bridger falling to the dark side wouldn't make that big of a shift in the dark side? I'm telling you straight up now, you're full of shit.
especially Luke. Luke is looking for Force users at this time.
Literally,
How would he not feel like a darker presence near? But it's
Mhm.
like I feel like Ezra. Like my problem with this timeline is like I feel like we'll get too many Jedi. If I have Luke, Ahsoka, and Ezra, it feels kind of OP. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, and then you're just like, if we have all these people on top of Grogu, Ben Solo, Leia, and his other academy, you're just like, what could literally go wrong here? So I think my pitch might have to come true, where Ezra would have to kill Ahsoka, and then something would have to happen to Ezra. But then I feel like I would be like, as a big Ezra Bridger fan, why would you bring him back just to kill him? So it's just like,
I feel like Luke would kill Ezra.
really? I don't.
Do you just not want to see that, or do you?
No, no, no. I would be down for that, but it's just like, but then it's just like, what? Like, it's not like Luke at this time, at this time in his life, to just outright kill someone. Now we've seen him attempt to kill someone.
Yeah,
We saw him straight up attempt to kill Vader in 2 movies. So,
right.
or technically 3 movies because he shoots
Now,
at Vader a lot.
yeah, my thing is though is like now this goes down a whole rabbit hole. It's just like technically originally Snoke is supposed to have that scar from Luke.
Yeah,
Uh that's what Kylo says at least. Now that could be just folktale that Snoke told that it's a lie.
yeah,
Um but it's like I mean Luke really doesn't have a big Luke's character arc is more of emotional it's more of a way of turning Vader back to
mhm,
the good. So Luke's not really supposed to have any distinguished kills. And I don't think killing somebody just distinguishes or makes a character powerful.
oh
But
yeah,
Luke really doesn't have a monumental victory, if you know what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't
yeah,
have one where he's dominant. I've never seen the dominant Luke Skywalker. I've seen the young training Luke with Vader, and then I saw the old majestic hermit that came back and basically it was just there to help the resistance escape. Um, I haven't seen the almighty powerful Luke that you heard about in Legends that every fan has wanted to see. I'd kind of like him to see Ezra, a dark side Ezra. I mean, granted, Ezra is pretty powerful. And imagine if we had that fight on something like Lothal, where he has that connection. Imagine if you had like a dark side Ezra with that connection to that planet versus Luke. That would be really interesting to see. A Luke at his full potential versus an older Ezra. I think that'd be really interesting to see, and it would establish Luke, and could see him finally fight somebody in his prime. Like that. That would be really cool to me.
yeah. I think like that would be like a really good fight to see, like two Jedi or an old Jedi and Luke in their prime fighting. It's like, did you imagine
And mind
a
you, maybe born a day or so apart, like basically
literally?
the same age. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like for me, I'm just like, I would really want to see that fight, but it's just like I feel like you have honestly, in my opinion, a lose-lose situation with that fight.
right.
Because you're just like, if you make Ezra win, you devalue Luke being able to overcome Vader, and then if you make Ezra lose, then you're just like, what the fuck was the point of bringing him back if he's just gonna lose?
Well, my thing is like you can't have Ezra and Ezra and Ahsoka live into the sequels. I feel like you kind of have to have them die.
You have to at this point. I'm sorry, Ahsoka should have been dead by now. Like I
To
know
be honest with you, I've said it. I said it right after. I was down with Vader killing her.
in Rebels, yes, absolutely. It's my thing with this. If Vader kills Ahsoka, his downfall or his redemption feels better
Yeah,
because he's essentially like forgiving himself for the dark shit he did while his other persona took over. So it's like I mean,
like it would just strengthen Luke's ability to turn him back to the light.
yes,
Him killing his master, him killing his apprentice, but his son was the one who could bring him back. That's powerful, especially since we know the relationship Anakin had with those two. That's
yeah,
some powerful stuff. And Ahsoka, like, how do you kill Ahsoka now? Like, what is the thing? I
it,
don't want her around like close to the time of Kylo Ren, and I don't want to see Kylo Ren just chop her in half. I'm like, okay,
no,
that's cool. That establishes Kylo as a badass, but I'm like, really?
yeah,
I'd be like, really in that moment. And Ezra, I don't know how you would do that. Thrawn killing him, maybe? That's kind of lame to me. I don't know.
yeah. It's another thing for me that it's just like I feel like personally right now the only way that you can kill Ahsoka is through Ezra. Have her journey that she's been essentially like trying to get back to. Like you have to think like when we're thinking about like I think we had this discussion off camera. We might have had it on camera about the world between worlds when because the whole thing came up. Is the world between worlds time travel? Is it like what is it in Star Wars? And essentially, it is reality warping to a whole other extent. It's
Correct.
not time travel. If Ahsoka came through a portal, nobody else could go through it but Ahsoka. And so the example that like Dave used, like if Ezra pulls Kanan through that portal, then Ezra would die because he would cease to exist now. And
Correct.
so
So,
Kanan would then return to a time or to return to a reality where the Ghost Crew is dead. And so it's
yeah,
one of
it's
those.
always really confused. It's
Yeah,
the reason I don't like it, and I still don't like it after watching the episode a couple weeks ago. It's just muddy. It creates a gray
it
area
is.
that I don't like.
Yeah, because it's like it's not time travel. It's not branch realities. It's not the multiverse. It's none of that. It's just time. It's literally just a time stream, basically.
And it's hard for me to believe that. Why would Palpatine want it? He had everything in the galaxy. Why?
Literally, the only reason I could think Palpatine would want it is to see what happens in the future.
Yeah.
That's it. But literally, why would he care if he
He
knew what
already
would
has a
happen?
contingency plan at this point. Already has that contingency plan in place in
Literally,
case
yeah.
Vader. Um. So what would he want to do? Does he want to like? I think he really does know about Luke and Leia. I've always thought he knew about Luke and Leia.
I
I
have
always
to,
thought that.
honestly. I always think that he always knew and he was always going to use them as like a backpedal plan. Because, like, again, he seems way too calm about it in Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
Like, oh, your son, you know, probably could have the potential to be the most gifted Jedi since you is the person who blew up the Death Star.
Yeah.
Just one of the most secure
I
facilities in the
also think he knows
galaxy's
that
time.
Kenobi's alive. He knows He definitely knows Yoda's alive.
Yeah,
Like he knows all that. He just doesn't want Vader to know. He's Vader's a toy, a prop for him.
I
Just
know.
so it's very odd that he wants it. What does he want to do with it?
I don't know. Maybe
If he knows about Luke and Leia, maybe you make the argument that to keep Vader, he just pulls Luke and Leia out and kills them or something. I don't know. Like what does he do? What does he do?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense, Drew. That's what happens, okay? It doesn't make sense and it's not meant to, I guess.
So with the Kanan thing, if he pulled Kanan out, what happens to Ezra in that moment? Does he just snap away? Does he just
Yeah.
snap away? He just disappears.
I don't know because you'd also have to think like because with the Ahsoka thing, when she went back, let's say what Rebels season 2 came out in like 2015 or
Right.
whatever. let's say just because I don't remember the exact year this takes place, or season 2 takes place. Ahsoka, when she went back, would go back to the time after Vader walks out of the temple, which means she would have to wait on for who knows how long on Malachor until what? Again, let's say for shits and giggles, 2 years. She would have to be waiting there to come off of Malachor to start the search for Ezra.
Right. And how does she get off of Malachor?
I don't know. So, well, someone would have to go back for her, or she'd have to somehow make an emergency signal for someone.
It's so weird. It's I don't like it. I just don't like it. It would be cool to me if you could look in the portals, but not necessarily pull people out.
Yeah, because like I think I would also like it if people could go through and see things that have happened in the past, future, and present, but being able to actually physically take someone out.
It is reality. It's not time travel per se, but it is reality warping. I think that's a perfect way to put it. You are altering the events. You are
Yes.
altering reality. It's not necessarily time travel in the sense that, like for example, the Avengers. Like there was two of them. Like there were two of all the Avengers at one point in Endgame, or three of them in
Yeah.
some cases in the
It would
same timeline.
like if Ezra went through that portal, or say Kanan was at, it would literally be the thing where Ezra is in that point, would disappear, and that Ezra would be the current Ezra in that time.
Yeah.
So what would happen then if Ezra went on there to get Kanan? When Kanan would push Hera back, Hera would probably go through the push Hera to her death. Oh my god! Have a Natasha moment where they just zoomed out on her corpse. Oh god! Oh god!
Imagine the pain Kaden would be going through at that moment.
Well, he
Like
wouldn't
he's
go through any pain. He's dead. Sorry.
Well, no. Like no. But let's just say hypothetically, like Ezra actually pulled him out, but it killed Ezra.
Literally, like doing that would do like no good.
So it's just Kanan. Kanan's like, what happened?
It would,
Ahsoka's gotta be like, yeah, your apprentice pulled you out of this portal, and now all your friends are dead.
yeah.
So then it would just be like a continued cycle of them going back and forth.
Yeah. Like, okay, I need to go pull Ezra out of this portal so we can we can fix this. Send me back.
But bro, think about what Ezra could have done. Ezra would have literally changed the original trilogy, bro. The TIE Defender project, if that happened, the rebellion is screwed, bro. Those X-Wings, there's no way those X-Wings are touching those TIE Defenders.
And that's the other thing is like when you bring this stuff up, bro, I'm sorry, then it gets into the, oh, well, if Ezra does so-and-so, the sequels could get removed. The sequel trilogy could go bye-bye. No, if Ezra would have changed what happened to Kanan, the entire original trilogy and therefore sequel trilogy would have been changed. And the Mandoverse.
Yeah.
So regardless, yeah, if you want to get rid of the sequel trilogy, you're just going to have to get rid of
the
original trilogy and the Mandalorian.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, I also hate the world between worlds because of the conversation it brings up.
Yes.
Maybe in a what if type of thing. Maybe you just have, I don't know, just some random dude in there, and he just starts.
Yeah, because like again, I told you about this. Like in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, you go through Cosmos's hand into the multiverse, and so I would be down for something like that to be something where we could maybe see other universes or see the future and whatnot. But like, no, being able to actually physically pull someone is a big no-no for me.
No,
big
absolutely.
No-no. And then like, again, I love season 3. I think it has the best characterization for any character.
Absolutely.
And I think season 3 has so many good, just off the shoot quotes. You're just like, oh, that's really good. I think one of my biggest quotes, and I remember hearing it in the trailer.
Kanan Jarrus, Jedi Knight, Bendu. Love the Bendu.
Yes. But I think my favorite quote from Rebels, and probably from all of Star Wars, is Kanan's line during the Clone Wars, I think, anniversary episode when Rex goes with him, is battles leave scars, some you can't see.
Oh my god, bro. I love that episode, and I never knew at the end that they put the Clone Wars open and saw, bro. I almost teared up, man. I almost teared up.
It's an
It was so fun. Bro. It was just so fun.
Yeah, and then just again, there's so many like just good quotes. Again, the Bendu is amazing. Maul in season 3 is like peak Maul for me.
Really good. And it kind of brings up a conversation I want to have about twin sons. So recently there was a report from the Hollywood Reporter. I don't know if you
Mm,
saw this. People complaining that Maul was originally supposed to be in
yeah,
Kenobi.
they
Now
were
I'm
gonna
gonna say,
retcon the fight.
from what I heard, from what leakers and insiders are saying, that was never the plan. That was never the
Yeah,
plan.
I mean, here's the thing: is like,
Hidalgo even said it himself. I'm not a huge fan of Pablo Hidalgo, but like
yeah,
he even said himself,
yeah.
that's not real.
Here's the thing: is although Dave is not working on this show, still the people who work at Star Wars know what happened in Rebels. Rebels has been referenced so much that at this point, if you retcon a big episode like Twin Sons, it wouldn't be right.
Now here's my thing. Would I have rather had it in live action?
Yeah,
Yes, but it happened in Rebels, and I love the poetic end of the fight, right? Uh,
yeah.
Obi-Wan goes from his stance to his master's stance. Maul tries to kill him with the same exact move, gets sliced in half. It's the end of Maul's story. Now, the reason I also like it is because Maul, most of Maul's story and Maul's best story is in animation.
Hmm.
I've always been a big fan of how a character starts. That's how their journey should end. But with
Yeah.
Maul, in the case of Maul, if people saw him in Kenobi, I don't think they would necessarily be confused. Because I think they do a good job of explaining it. But I just feel like the story and animation makes more sense because my favorite Maul. I loved him. I really enjoyed him in Rebels, but my favorite Maul will still always be Clone Wars Maul.
Hmm.
I will never forget being up the night that he came back, and I was terrified because it was a spider dude.
He's
Who's
Spider-Man. He's the Spider
um,
Menace.
and then that first time he sees Obi-Wan again with the
Mm,
legs and stuff, and he's standing in the fires behind him. It's oh my
yeah.
god, just crazy. Um, yeah, it just I think it's better in animation. I would have loved it. I would have rather had it in live action for sure. But you know, it was Dave and John, the Hollywood Reporter said that told Deborah use Vader, and that's crazy to me how much
Hmm.
influence they have.
Yeah.
Use Vader.
Yeah. I mean, they're legendary. What can they say? You know.
Yeah, they
They
are.
I just like for me personally, like I wouldn't have wanted to see it in live action. I think Rebels did it
Really?
justice. Yeah, I think Rebels did it justice, and I feel like if you take off what they do in Rebels, I feel like I wouldn't have liked it. I'm sorry, like I know I'm a big fucking Rebel stan over here, but like I couldn't imagine the Grand Inquisitor versus Kanan fight in live action. I think it worked in animation, specifically Rebels' animation. Um,
That's definitely fair. That's definitely
and
fair.
and so it's like for me personally, I think like the big thing, like his whole arc in Rebels was about finding Kenobi, and I feel like if you just do it in the Kenobi show, that feels real cheap.
Kenobi,
Yeah,
Kenobi.
and
I
maybe
don't.
maybe something we could see is maybe the setup for Maul going to Malachor. I guess if you wanted to include Maul to some capacity,
Yeah,
show us him getting ready to go on his journey or embark on his journey for Kenobi.
now, if you were to ask me, which one would I rather have, Maul or Vader as the story? As much as I love Maul, I'd say Vader
Vader.
100%.
Vader, even if they don't come in contact with each other, like still Vader. Vader's more compelling. Sorry. Like again,
Love Maul. I do love
yeah.
Maul. And
I
I'm
would say
really interested in his story. What happens? How does he leave Crimson Dawn? What the hell
yeah.
happened there?
What happens that makes Kira take over? Yeah.
You know what I really would love to see?
What?
I would really love to see Pelps say, "You got to go get him.
Hmm.
He has too much power."
Yeah. But something else.
Because he is terrified of Vader.
Yeah.
I would love if Vader beat the shit out of him. That would be so cool to see.
Yeah. But something else that I think would be, you know, a little something would be you know, we have a lot going on in this show. The third sister and whatnot happening. But like, could you imagine like, a Vader and Maul fight? I know it would feel so much like the Book of Boba Fett being like, well, where's Kenobi during all this? But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
still, that'd be badass. A
What
Maul
if we did have Rebels
fight.
and it was a story of Vader and Maul in Kenobi, both at the same time trying to find Obi-Wan themselves, but instead
Yeah,
of them finding Kenobi, they find each other
yeah,
and they fight. That would have been really cool.
yeah.
I don't think it ever happens. I
No,
I could be wrong though, because I think a good way to say that why Maul left Crimson Dawn is that Help sent Vader to take him out. Uh,
yeah.
that would make sense to me. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts on Rebels season 3 and 4. I loved it. I
Oh,
mean, I didn't love it. I
sir,
liked it. My
sir,
thing
we
with
have so much more to talk about. You
that's
completely
really all
skipped
I
over.
wanted to say,
No,
man. I
you
said
completely skipped over Sabine's arc, the
I mentioned it.
entire. No, you mentioned it, but dude, don't even get me started. Trials of the Dark Saber is. I would say Rebel season 3 and 4 have easily like 5 of the best episodes in it. Easily, Zero
Yeah,
Hour, Trials of the Dark Saber, the
Thrawn's a
entire.
great villain, man. That's
Oh my
that's the last
god,
thing I'll mention. He's fantastic. Just a menace the way he talks.
Thrawn. Oh, I hope we get to see him in live action and soon. I know we are with Ahsoka, but like I want Ahsoka like
The
right
big
now.
bad. The big bad of the Filoniverse,
The
baby.
Thanos verse.
I just love the way he talks. And I really enjoy about with Rebels, it's like they actually show his plan and how like terrifying he is. I will say I think he loses too many times sometimes. Uh
And but it's kind of like the loses that he or the loss that he gets, they're kind of just like insignificant. They just barely escape, and you're just let him have it.
yeah, and then the other thing I don't like is like, oh, you'll get called the Coruscant now. Leave Lothal. It's like,
Yeah,
yep, okay, sure.
good good story writing to get him taken out.
That makes
I
sense.
guess. Yeah.
Uh I'm really curious to see where he goes. He is one I'm worried about. I wouldn't say worried, but it's one that's gonna be hard to translate to live action.
I don't think so. His face model is based off of the guy who voices him, Lars
Is it?
Nicholson.
Yeah, it's Lars, correct? Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that one I'm not. But it's like
the red eyes. It's his eyes that I'm most concerned about. Because with the
you got to
Grand
get the
Inquisitor
eyes
eyes,
right.
I didn't care so much because in the comics he didn't have his glowy eyes.
His
So I
eyes are
didn't.
red. They are red.
They
Like
are
you gotta.
like they are like this deodorant red. Like they're a
Yeah,
bright red.
you
They're
gotta
like,
have that right.
and if you don't have that well in live action, it's gonna look
It's
really
got to
weird.
look a lot better than the Grand Inquisitor.
No, again, I don't know, man. I don't like his head shape, but I didn't care about his eyes. I saw a lot of people complaining about that. I was like, girl, pick up a comic. He did not have those eyes in the comics. Not yet.
It's not even that. It just
It's the
it
head shape.
looks jarring.
His head looks massive on his body.
It's not that. It just
It is for me.
doesn't feel menacing.
I mean, if I had a helicopter blade spinning in front of me, where is he?
The
I
fifth
would be
brother
pretty
looks way worse, in my opinion. We
so
just saw.
so bad. I'm sorry. It's so bad.
But
His
yeah, I'm.
like his helmet doesn't even look like what it does in Rebels. His face doesn't even look like his face is so like square in Rebels, and in Clone War or in Kenobi looks so
And it
like
looks like a
stretched out.
different, like it's like a light
Yeah,
dark green. It's not like the.
his
It's
his
weird.
eyes aren't white like they are. They're like pitch black.
It's weird. It
That's
just
not
looked.
that's not the fifth brother. That's the fifth they them.
Jesus Christ.
I
Could get us in trouble here.
know, I know, I know, I know.
Um, yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say. I mean, I will say this: the finale was good, not great. Like my thing with this show is I put it. I think it's better than the Book of Boba Fett,
Oh,
specifically the stuff about Boba Fett.
yeah.
Sorry. I think it's Rebels is good, not great. I will say Zeb. What the hell happened to him? Season 3 and 4.
He's the funny guy. He's the funny guy.
Um, he's like the Hulk of the MCU. Just like he has moments, but he just downhill.
Yeah.
Sabine, when Sabine's not on Mandalore,
No, hard disagree. Trials of the Darksaber had nothing to do with her being on Mandalore, and that is still some peak ass Rebels.
It had to do with the Darksaber.
That doesn't matter.
It's Mandalorian history. You know what I meant, Alex. Come
No,
on now.
don't you know what I meant when you're saying when she's not on Mandalore? She wasn't on Mandalore for that.
You know what I meant. Um,
No, I
Ezra,
don't think
Kanan,
it
and
was.
Hera. Goats. And Chopper. Love my man.
Dude, I'm telling you, give that man a
Roar, roar,
little
roar, roar,
give
roar.
that man a gun and the whole war would have been over. No, he gets
Uh,
I forget he gets guns repeatedly in this show, but he throws them at people.
he does. I still love that moment when he tosses that droid out. I still love that moment in season 1. Oh, we
Yeah.
like this droid. It's lovely.
No. he's like he's like a very like vicious cat. Like I can almost guarantee that's what his inspiration was, like a cat.
Yeah.
Love Rebels. So happy that we reviewed it. So happy.
Yeah, we got an open date, I believe, May the 11th. So,
Dude, I know what we should review on that.
why?
The Adam Project. Such a good movie.
Is it that the one with Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds
Reynolds.
and the gentleman who's going to direct Deadpool 3? Levy?
Yes. Such a good movie.
Maybe.
I'll say this: if you have you watched it,
No. I don't
I'll say
really watch Netflix.
the humor doesn't hit a lot. Like
What is it about?
so
Oh, is it about like a
so
child that meets his
okay.
future self or something like that?
So basically, Ryan Reynolds' character Adam, he needs to go back to the past to because something had happened with his wife, and he ends up going to the wrong time, and he meets his 12-year-old self, and they have this whole adventure about stopping the creation of time travel, and figuring out the mystery of what happened to his wife, um, and it is so sad at the end. I don't I had to hold, I was watching it during school. I had to hold back tears. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Mark Ruffalo's in it. Um it was solid. The girl who plays Gamora is the wife.
Oh, Zoe Saldana.
I don't know how to say her last name, so I just call her the girl who's Gamora. Um Such a good movie. I think it's like on par with me where Tick Tick Boom was.
I might have to check it out then.
Did you even watch Tick Tick Boom?
Nope.
Oh, such a disservice
I
to
don't even
yourself.
watch Netflix. I don't really know if I even
No,
have like
I canceled my subscription today because they took the Netflix shows off, the Marvel shows. There's nothing on there now for me.
I don't even I think I had it just for Clone Wars at one point.
No,
Like
I unsubscribed today.
I don't even
They
like because I
no
watch a lot of I watch a
yeah,
lot of live sports. So really the only day I use Disney Plus is
Wednesday.
Wednesday, or if I which I'm not gonna complain, especially with the amount of shows I'm getting. If I'm paying $7.99 a month,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna complain.
no tuition raises. Also, after the first like 3 years of it,
Now I know I saw that they're changing it, that they're gonna do one a lower price, but it's gonna be
I
they're
think
gonna have
with
ads.
yeah, which I don't know what are you gonna market on there? All this stuff's on the homepage already.
Right. So, well, maybe it's like ads on the project itself, like YouTube does. Like you get an ad periodically. Maybe
I
it's
don't know.
something like that.
Like literally low, like at the beginning, no, like the middle of 2021, I was paying for HBO Max, I was paying for Netflix, I was paying for YouTube Premium, I was paying for Disney Plus and Marvel Unlimited. I now only pay for YouTube Premium and Disney Plus. I cut the subscriptions that I don't use out. And then when I got on Netflix today to go watch The Adam Project, I got a notification that they're raising the prices of their subscriptions.
Isn't it $20 almost a month?
No, they raised it by 50 cents, which yes, doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're already paying $15, like and
I
I'm paying an extra $5 so the quality is in 480p. Absolute tragedy.
I don't have Netflix. I have Disney Plus. Parents might have Netflix. I don't have it. I have Disney Plus. I have ESPN Plus because I watch a lot of live sports, obviously. I have Peacock for free.
Peacock's free.
Yeah, as a free. Yeah, because sports sometimes are on there. That's like it.
Yeah.
I don't
I
have
think
HBO Max.
I think
I
I'm maybe
might get
gonna.
it for like
Yeah.
Reeves' stuff.
I honestly like the only enticing reason I would want to keep my Netflix subscription is because The Dark Knight and Batman Begins is on it. But the Batman, Return isn't. How do you have the first, the second, but not the sequel?
It's
Makes
weird.
no sense. And so like I was literally looking on there. I was like, ooh, maybe I should do like a Batman, like the Dark Knight series rewatch before the Batman comes out on Blu-ray and digital. And then I was like, so I'm gonna have to pay for rise or for returns? Really? So I was like, at that point, no, I'll just buy them separately, or I'll go to
Yeah.
Walmart or something and try to buy like a 3-pack.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
speaking of, No Way Home came out yesterday on digital.
did you get it?
No, I'm getting it on Friday.
I might
Like,
get it.
dude, Marvel was eating good like this week. Miss Marvel trailer came out. Spider-Man came out. The Netflix shows went to Disney Plus.
Yeah. I might
But
watch an
still,
episode tonight
but
of Daredevil.
still, but still, no Love and Thunder trailer.
No. So do you want to do question of the week first or Miss Marvel trailer?
Um, I honestly didn't think we'd have time for question of the week, so I didn't think of one. Gotta
So
be
no.
honest. I can think of one while we're talking about Miss Marvel.
Do you have the thing?
But no, we ran out.
Wait, I thought you crafted like 20.
No, I only used like I lost a lot of them because when I was moving my room around. No, okay, listen. When I was moving my room around,
That's unreal.
my brother came in, knocked some stuff over, and the questions were in that, so I accidentally sweep them into the trash and threw them away. But literally the questions were like, "What's your favorite Phase 3 movie? What's your
Okay.
favorite Phase 2?" It's stuff
Okay.
like that. Like we
God
could
damn it,
literally.
Alex. I'll let you think. All right.
Thank you.
So let's move into our second topic. And Alex and I disagree on this a lot. The Miss Marvel trailer. Alex, I went first for the first topic. Go ahead. Give your thoughts.
Dude, this trailer looked good. Everyone is being a bunch of little bitches, small dick energy with it. Look, I'll say this, okay? I'm not excited. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, I can't wait for Miss Marvel to come out. But I'm just like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited. Again, I'm not to the fucking moon and back about this show, but I'm not saying the show's gonna be kind of mid because of a little trailer, of a not even 2-minute trailer. Like again, I'll say this: I'm still more excited for Thor: Love and Thunder, and that shit has got no promotion. So, if you want to know where my excitement gauge is at, I would say out of the stuff coming out soon, like uh, Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder, Miss Marvel, Kenobi, Andor, like it's still at the bottom, but like still.
Okay. So
I still don't count Morbius as a movie.
fuck you.
No,
It looks good, man.
it doesn't.
Looks better than this.
I bet maybe because it's a full feature movie with like tons of budget put into it.
True. Um,
But is it gonna get delayed for an 8th time?
I watched this trailer with a friend actually of mine. Doesn't really know anything about Marvel or anything like that. And I also had this first reaction too. Is it felt like a really high quality Disney Channel show.
No, it
Now,
doesn't.
that's
No, it
that is
doesn't.
that is not an insult. That's just the way I felt while watching it.
Are you?
And
You can't. It's not an insult to call this multi-billion-dollar company's product. Say it looks like a high definition Disney show.
I mean,
Girl.
I'm so. And listen, I realized right away after I watched this trailer, this is the first time I've really ever felt with the show. It's not for me. Not at all. I am probably, and I know I'm basing it off of less than 2 minutes, Alex. But even with things like The Bad Batch, right? That is more kid centric. I still felt like I would enjoy it. What?
Okay. Let's say this also: the Bad Batch. Which series do you have a higher connection with, Star Wars or Marvel?
Star Wars.
And which shows have you liked more, the animated Star Wars shows or the live action Marvel shows?
Probably the animated Star Wars, if I'm being honest with you.
And what
That's fair.
animation? What animation style was Bad Batch in?
That's fair. Clone Wars. That's
And what
fair.
did the show follow up on?
The Clone Wars. That is fair. I was
Exactly.
gonna get to that. Maybe that's the reason why. But I also liked What If more. But What If again had past characters, right? Had familiar faces.
Had a lot of them too.
This is the first time I really felt like this just isn't it for me. And again, that's the whole point, right? This show, and you talked about it too. This show obviously is appealing to a younger generation. I think it's going to do a great job of bringing in younger fans, specifically younger women fans who, historically in fandoms have dealt with, terrible things, right? They generally have a hard time getting into nerd fandoms because it's seen as a negative almost as a female. And it's
Yeah.
kind of touched on in the trailer, right? Oh, another Marvel shirt? And then they gave the girl the Mephisto horns, trolling
Oh my
us.
God.
I see you
Stop.
guys. I see you
Stop.
guys. I see you guys. I see you, Feige. I just it didn't hit with me, man. And it's another thing is that I'm not really interested in Captain Marvel. I didn't love that movie. Now again, Captain Marvel, what is it? The Marvels? That could
Yeah.
come out and that movie could be a banger. I could turn around and change. But
Yeah.
having Kamala Khan's idol be a character. Now again, that's her story. I'm really intrigued into that. That's cool. That's cool for her. Her hero being Captain Marvel, a character who I think is one of the weaker characters in the MCU. It's got a lot of things that don't bode well to me. Now, that's not to say that it's going to be an overall good show. It could be. But just
Yeah.
as of now, going into it, my hype level, man, like a 2 out of 10. The other problem this show has,
And this is the biggest problem, and this is why my excitement's also like a 2 or a 3.
it's going up against Obi-Wan Kenobi. Literally, the first episode of Miss Marvel is going to go up against Kenobi Episode 3. Now, I don't want to spoil too much here, but basically, Kenobi Episode 3, from stuff we've been hearing from insiders, pretty good ones, that's the big reintroduction to Vader. What do you think the dialogue is going to be that day, Alex? Do you think they're going to talk about Miss Marvel in high school, or do you think they're going to talk about the reintroduction to literally the greatest villain in cinema?
Obviously, the girl in high school. Come on, Drew.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
No, they're gonna be talking about Darth freaking Vader. It's something that is just like, again, this show is definitely something like I'm gonna watch it as a big Marvel fan. I'm gonna watch it,
I'll
but
watch it
as an
too.
even bigger Star Wars fan, I'm sorry, I'm watching Kenobi first. My big thing was we were worried potentially when Hawkeye was coming out, was the finale of Hawkeye was potentially going to go up against the premiere of the Book of Boba Fett. Now, this was before we knew about the 2-episode release of
Correct.
Hawkeye.
Right.
And I said it straight up that I was probably going to watch Hawkeye first because I'm more of a Hawkeye fan than Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry. This is the biggest thing Star Wars has released, and I'm going to say it since Return of the Jedi. And you're going to ask me to say it against Miss Marvel.
I would disagree. I would say probably the fan. Oh,
no, I'm
probably the Phantom Menace and the Force Awakens.
I'm talking about for me.
Oh, okay. Well, for you, for sure. But I was just saying, for me, I guess. But
yeah.
Also, it's like it feels like the most hyped up thing since Disney acquired Star Wars. It's always been when's Kenobi, when's Kenobi, when's Kenobi, when's Kenobi. Ewan's been talking about it for years.
Do you remember the announcement of when Ewan and Kathleen Kennedy went on stage and he had Kathleen Kennedy ask, is he going to play Obi-Wan Kenobi again?
That was in like 2018 or 2019. It's been a while since that celebration.
That happened. The internet, specifically the Star Wars part of the internet, blew up like if a nuclear bomb went off in the world.
There were rumors probably around the time of DLJ and Rogue One, he was getting his own movie. They were going to do a Obi-Wan Kenobi film.
Yeah.
right? This has been around for a while. It's just like the most hyped up Star Wars project is going up against probably for a lot of people, I feel like in the
The
general
least
fandom,
least
their least
anticipated
anticipated Marvel
Marvel.
project. I don't think it's an intentional thing, but it feels like to me, I don't think Marvel's done anything intentionally, but it just feels like that they kind of trapped with this show, I guess. Like,
Yeah, because like not only is it going against Kenobi, it's also gonna go against Thor: Love and Thunder.
yeah,
Like there's only gonna be 2 weeks of this show where it's gonna be by itself.
yeah. And by then it's 5 and 6. So like if you haven't seen the first four, it's like, well,
It's
damn.
gonna be some big catch up.
And I also feel like it's not like what's the big cameo gonna be? Like that's what maybe I feel like I'm kind of worried that and Marvel sometimes does this, that they're just gonna say let's insert maybe the dialogue was like oh this show because they did a lot of reshoots and this is just me going into speculation town. I don't know anything, but maybe they panicked and they're like let's put in Captain Marvel or something like that.
Yeah,
Let's put in Monica
and
Rambeau.
my
That kind of
also
worries
my
me.
point to that also is uh like a lot of people aren't big fans of her. So it's
Right.
like that's not going to be a big cameo. And the other thing that a lot of people were very, very upset about with this show, apart from it not being very highly anticipated, apart from it coming out at a really bad time, was the power change of her. Now, yes, she still does embiggen in this show. However, that shit looks pretty Green Lantern to me with how crystalline it is. And so I don't know. A lot of people don't like that her power changed, and honestly, don't blame them.
Yeah, so she technically has inhuman powers technically in the comics, correct? Right? She's an inhuman.
She's the most famous Inhuman, or one of.
So now it's kind of like she has Green Lantern-esque powers.
But they're not even powers. They're from a bracelet.
Right, which is
So
weird.
again, there's always potential that what could happen is the powers get somehow imbued in her. Maybe she puts the bracelets down like she's surrendering them, and then someone shoots them, and then the radiation or the mist causes her to get her powers.
Or maybe at some point like in the Marvels, like she gets it taken off of her, but she realizes she can still use her powers. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
become a part of her anyway, like injected somehow. Something stupid that they could explain
Yeah.
that would make sense. That would make sense plot-wise. Yeah, it was weird. I'm like, she just picks up a bracelet and she has these powers. It's like it was
Yeah.
really. I know Shun-Chi obviously, got his powers from the Ten Rings, but Shun-Chi was also established as a one of the best probably martial artists on the planet.
Yeah.
Um,
Being able, like, also in the comics, like, taught Spider-Man how to fight.
right, right. With Kamala Khan, it's like she's a high school girl who now has bracelets, but what happens without the bracelets? It's like
Right.
you know, and again, it's the same thing that could happen to Peter Parker if he ever like lost his spider sense. Uh,
Mm.
so I don't. As somebody who doesn't read the comics, it didn't bother me at all. I thought one of the best part of the trailers was how her powers looked. I liked
Mm.
how she could like levitate. She had like it's kind of like a cosmic bracelet, I guess you could say. Like she can
Yeah.
walk in the air. She could elongate. Um, I also heard they didn't want her powers to look like or not Krasinski. I was thinking of it. Jesus Christ. Uh, Reed Richards. I was
Yeah.
right.
That was like what some of the rumored stuff was like that they
Right.
didn't that the power change came from them not wanting to have too similar of abilities, but it's just like really, literally, I was watching a lot of people saying this. Like, think about how many Iron Man-esque people there are. Think about how many super soldiers there are. The only difference between one super soldier is one can lift a hammer. They're all just
Right.
super strong and super fast and can jump very high.
Rhodey and Tony, like, dude, like,
Got to think also Spider-Man and Spider-Man. It's like,
right, yeah, yeah, exactly,
and
yeah,
so it's like if like look, if you're gonna have and the Avengers in the Marvel Avengers game world, we call them Echo characters. If you're gonna
mm-hmm.
have them, why would you take away the one thing about Kamala that makes her Kamala, and that is her big powers? Because the thing in her comics is that she can transform, like she can shapeshift into people, and
Whoa.
so yeah, she can shapeshift, and she would shapeshift into her favorite heroes, and her big arc was coming into accepting who she was, not accepting who she wanted to be,
Right.
and you take that away.
Obviously, I still feel like they'll do that, but just in a different way. I feel like.
But then I
Um.
feel like the only way they could do that is in, like, you notice how in the comics she was going off in like those, like, not dream sequences, but like imagine sequences.
Hmm.
Like how she dazes off. It's like how she's in that Captain Marvel suit doing the superhero landing and whatnot. It's just like
Right.
I feel like, yeah, you could do it like that, but like still, I mean, like, that would feel so cheap. Especially, like, again, and I think the reason I'm not super excited about the show is I feel like because they did her story good in a video game already, and that was Marvel's Avengers. Like, gonna be honest, the game's kind of shit, but at least it told her story in a great manner.
And I also want to give a shout out to Iman Vellani, the girl who was going to play Kamala Khan. She looked fantastic. She seems like she's going to
Yes.
kill the role. She very much seems like Kamala Khan, like she's going to
Oh
steal the
yeah.
show. But she's going to I think, be a great role model for the younger generation, and that's who they're going to look up to. So again, just my thing is, Alex, it's not was it appeasing to me. It was like the first time I really ever felt like something was just like, yeah, just isn't it for me. And it also kind of coincides with the fact that it's with the show that's kind of catered towards my favorite character in Star Wars, Anakin Skywalker and Vader. So it's in a bad position just for me personally. And I think overall the show's going to suffer from being suffocated from the dialogue of Kenobi that
Yeah.
everyone's going to have. Um, I think Iman Vellani is going to be a great addition to the MCU. I'm happy for younger fans and specifically woman fans, younger girl fans who
Pakistani fans
finally,
too.
yeah, who we're gonna finally have a superhero to resonate with, and I
Mhm.
think I'll probably enjoy it. I mean, I'll probably come on here and say, yeah, I liked it, but it won't be my cup of tea. Like Pixar movies aren't made for me. I uh I just watched Turning Red or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Uh, Great. I watched Soul. Great. Like I still like Pixar films. I still like watching Cars once in every while if it's on television. It's like even those aren't made for me, I still like them. Like that could be the case with this. So, um, yeah, it doesn't speak to me right now. Got any final thoughts on the trailer? Just overall?
Don't think about the show. Don't say it's gonna be mid if we haven't seen it yet.
I think that's fair. I think as a fandom, we got to stop saying that. It's just weird. Just weird to me. I agree with
Ah,
that.
I'm sorry, but when people say something is mid or something is peak, you immediately lose me in the conversation. Just say it's gonna be good or it's gonna be bad. I'm sorry. I know I'm old. Call me a boomer all you fucking want.
Yeah, right, right,
Don't
right,
call
right.
don't call shit L movie, L Batman,
L.
L Alfred. Shut the fuck up. Mm.
It's just so. I get it. I get it for sure. Um, but I also don't like generally like I saw an individual made a video like, oh, this show is already getting a ton of hate from toxic fanboys who say it looks like a behind like a Disney Channel show, and I'm like, are you talking about me? Like, I generally just said, I hate when we like. I don't hate. I don't like the word hate. I dislike when we lump everyone together. Just I dislike that. Like, yeah,
Mm.
the show just doesn't resonate with me, and I said it. Just I said it on my TikTok when I reviewed it. It's not my thing. Just like not everybody is a. It's like for some people it's like there's two sides. There's like a side that just overly critiques everything, and then now there was a side that just is like you can only consume, you must not critique. It's just
Yeah.
like, come on, there's like a balance here. Like everyone was complaining. I saw more people complaining. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but I needed to get this out.
No, go
I
go
saw
go.
I saw more people complaining about the fact that people were critiquing the Grand Inquisitor design than actual people critiquing the design. Like, generally, people's criticism was it just looked jarring. It looked a little
Looked
off-putting.
weird.
And then people were like, "Oh, you guys can't accept anything." It's like,
Yeah.
can we not criticize? Like,
But
it's
you know
not.
what, Drew? Honestly, sounds like the internet.
It does. It does, man. It does. It does. I don't generally. I posted a lot recently with TikTok because I was so excited about the Mando stuff that we'll get into. But before that, I only had I looked at it like 6 posts in a month. That's really low for what I used to be doing. And then I only do this
Yeah.
also, and I've kind of liked it. And I don't comment on people's posts. I'll like people if I see them. I'm not on my phone a lot. Like I'm on my phone like less than 2 hours a day at this
Yeah.
point. I'm just so time consumed. So it's like, yeah,
Shit be
I don't know.
crazy, man. Shit be crazy.
All right, let's. Do you got a question of the week?
I do. I thought about it.
Let's
Think
do
about
it.
it.
Question of the week, episode 6. Alex, what do you got?
Drew, if you could have any movie prop, what would it be and why? Or film prop. It doesn't have to just be for movies.
Anakin's lightsaber. Sorry, Skywalker lightsaber.
Oh no, here. I'm gonna give it this. Give me 3 props because I feel like that's a pretty easy question to answer.
Anakin's, Luke's,
Which one?
Return of the Jedi.
All right, I got it.
The green saber. Oh, Loki's any one of Loki's crowns.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you say 3? Oh my gosh, I can't count. Sorry. Can't count. Okay, if I could have 3, I'm about to have one, so I'm not gonna include it. And that's the Mandalorian's helmet. But
Ooh.
I don't know. That's actually hard. I didn't even think about this. I came up with questions and couldn't even think of an answer. I would say like the actual physical dark saber prop.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, I would also say I would want the helmet that Tamora Morrison wore for the Book of Boba Fett. Very
That's
specific.
really oddly specific. Why?
I know, because then I could say Tamora Morrison wore this, like the actual Boba Fett wore this. And then Robert Pattinson's Batsuit.
Yeah. That's good.
With the mannequin too.
That's good.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Maybe Tom's Spider-Man suit from Far From Home.
Oh wait, I'm gonna change it. Take out Luke's lightsaber, put in Tobey Maguire's suit, the OG.
Dude, oh my gosh, I was on TikTok scrolling like I do, and there was this video of someone talking about like the worst clips from Marvel movies, like talking about the bad CGI. I didn't even know how bad this clip was. It was in, I think, Spider-Man 1, when Mary Jane is hanging on to Spider-Man, they're web slinging, and it's a mannequin. It's a mannequin with the spider suit on. And I was just like, I never caught that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So stiff. He's just like this for like 5 seconds. You're just like, dude, either like that's one long web or you're like saluting the wrong kind of people. So
Jesus Christ, Alex. What is it with these jokes today, man?
It's canceled.
What are you doing, man?
I'm gonna get this
What
canceled.
are you doing?
I'm sorry, but like that man looked like he was kind of doing a Hitler salute.
Oh my God, bro! What are you doing? You can't double down now. You can't double down.
Sorry.
What are you doing, man? Oh man.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Man, Jesus, bro. Okay.
Look, you wanted some honesty. I gave you some honesty.
Oh my God, Alex! Now you tripled down, man. What are you doing?
How did I triple down?
Just stop. Just stop.
Look,
Just
look,
stop. Just stop.
look.
No, 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 no.
Look,
Just
maybe he
no, no.
shouldn't be. Maybe he shouldn't be so stiff. Okay, why did they get that? Why is that
Okay,
mannequin stuck
okay.
like this
The out
for
of
4
context.
years?
I'm gonna clip that and post it out of context.
Spider-Man is that Nazi.
What are you saying now? What is going on? What is
I give
happening?
up. I give up. Okay.
Yeah,
I,
you
ju- I
should.
just
You
give
should.
up. I just give up.
Oh my
Look,
god.
you know what? That's the editor's fault. Okay, that's Sam Raimi's fault. Why would you use a fake Spider-Man?
I don't know. I don't know.
CGI that shit.
That was okay.
I'm so sorry.
Let's
Oh,
now move into our final topic. Some Mandalorian season 3 rumors that are, I will say, rumors because they aren't from official sources, but specifically one of these sources has nailed a lot of things. Shout out to Jason Ward from MakeItStarWars.net. He accurately reported on the Vespas in the Book of Boba Fett last year, the Naboo starfighter that Din flies. He got Reva's name right, the new third sister. He talked about a lot of the Kenobi leaks we've talked about. He got the trailer date right. He knows his stuff. Leia, Qui-Gon. So let's talk about this. And Alex, before the stream, said keep it vague. So let's start with the first article. I think the first one, I'm curious to see what you think about this. So Alex,
is it the
somehow
Mando? Oh, that's not what I thought.
somehow IG-11 has returned, and he's
No,
going to be
not the
Grogu's
Rise of,
armor.
not the Rise of Skywalker explanation.
What?
Not the Rise of Skywalker explanation. Somehow, IG-11 has returned.
Jason says, what does the droid have to do with Grogu's armor, you may ask? The IG droid acts as a mech for baby Grogu. That's right. Grogu literally
What?
sits inside the chest of a modified IG-11 who has been reinforced with Beskar and has turned into the Foundling
Okay,
suit of Mandalorian armor.
wait. Didn't he get blown up?
Okay, we'll get into that. IG-11 is controlled by Grogu. However, he also acts as Grogu's Jarvis. IG gives some data on probabilities of success and protects the child when need be. And Grogu kicks some serious ass in the series. Once this upgrade is put into play, he literally beats the shit out of some stormtroopers. How is this possible? We can only theorize at this moment how IG-11 is back after exploding at the end of Season 1 of The Mandalorian. I suspect the Jawas we see scrambling after the fight just before Moff Gideon emerges with the Darksaber are probably somehow responsible for his salvageability. Or we could speculate that this is a new IG droid entirely, but the crew members are calling it Grogu's mech IG-11. So make of that what you will.
Jesus.
Alex, what do you think about that?
That sounds, I heard it in my trailer, and I honestly thought, kind of dog shit.
You don't like it?
Christ. No. His death was a sacrifice.
No. So
why bring that bitch back? I'm sorry. Love Taika Waititi. I'm a big Taika stan. But god damn it. Why are we bringing him back?
I don't mind it. It feels very Jon Favreau and the idea. What do you think just of the idea in general?
Not a fan.
Why not?
Why does Grogu need a fucking mech?
It sounds awesome, bro. Imagine just little Grogu.
I want Grogu doing flips like he's Yoda. Like, I want that.
You want the Book of Boba Fett Grogu just going crazy.
Yes, or hell, give me the Grogu when he's in that cell in season 2 of Mando where he's just throwing people around, laughing his ass off.
Well, imagine if he's just in a mech just controlling it and he just gets to do the same thing.
I would rather prefer not to think about that.
I think it sounds interesting. I'm interested to see how it looks. Because Grogu is pretty big and IGs are like skinny. So like, I mean, Grogu's not big, but like Grogu seems a little bit wider than a.
Did you just like body shame him?
No, I didn't. Alex,
Drew,
what is wrong with you today, man?
Why are you body shaming Baby Yoda?
I'm not, but I'm just saying like IGs are skinny, and I know Grogu's small, but like
you just called Grogu fat again. How could you? Drew does not believe in all bodies are perfect. Obviously,
This guy wants to get us canceled, I think.
I'm being too controversial. I know.
But yeah, I'm really curious to see how it looks. But an IG unit reinforced with Beskar is terrifying.
I know. Literally, those bitches are killers. They're cold-blooded killers who work for the Empire. Kind of cold.
Literally, I mean IG 88. Um, but yeah, I'm really curious about that. It's kind of weird, but like that rumor. How do you feel? Do you think that is true though?
No,
You don't think that rumor's or do you not want it to be real?
both. I don't think it's true, and I don't want it to be real.
I think it is very real. It seems like so outlandish to make up, so I feel like that is very real.
Sir, we have heard some pretty
Right,
leaks.
right. But it's coming from a really good source, so I trust it.
He got one thing right.
That's not true.
He got two things right.
That's not true.
He got three things right.
Okay, whatever.
Whoopie, whoopie, whoop.
Next, I want to talk a little bit about the Praetorian Guards? Question mark. The Praetorian
Dude,
Guards from the Last Jedi. What? What?
already
Sequel trilogy?
Snoke coming?
Sequel trilogy connections?
No, sequels aren't canon, Drew.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Okay. So there was some filming last week. Din Djarin fights with Red Troopers and Praetorian Guards. The information I heard pertained to some filming for the third season of The Mandalorian. A source told me Praetorian Guards are in it with their weapons, just like in The Last Jedi. They also mentioned that Red Stormtroopers costumes with Mando-style helmets were with the Praetorian Guards on a ship set. I believe this was related to the Clonin story arc and maybe even Snoke himself. This is the photo that was taken. Those helmets look really cool. Alex, what do you think about Praetorian Guards and Mando 3, and what do you think it means?
We are going. This is a sequel trilogy, and we are going to see the fandom die before our eyes again. I think I'm gonna have to become Batman when this starts to happen. You know, start being vengeance because
fear is a tool.
Because this is almost certainly gonna cause
They think I
uproar.
live in the shadows, but I am the shadow.
I'm excited. I think those helmets look badass.
Oh,
personally.
they look great. They look great.
Early Praetorian Guard helmets, cool. It would be a little weird if they downgraded a lot. I'm gonna assume those are Beskar helmets.
Now, no. Those helmets right there are the Red Stormtrooper helmets. He says those are Red Stormtrooper helmets. Praetorians are
Sith troopers.
no, they're just Red Stormtroopers. That's what his information is. But now I think some of this stuff might be cross-wired, meaning that I don't think it's all put together.
Yeah,
I think
that doesn't make sense. Not gonna lie.
I think that they're Imperial super commandos that are left over on Mandalore, and they just have similar looking.
I can see that because that kind of looks like what it did in Rebels.
Because he goes on to say in another article that we'll touch on that the Praetorians have a secret base on Mandalore. But why would the Empire be there at that point if it bombed the planet? What would its purpose be? And why would they be doing the cloning on Mandalore? Yeah, I guess so, but do you think Thrawn's on Mandalore then?
Yes, I have been saying this.
You still think that though?
Yes. Because
So
why?
you think
Who else would be on Mandalore for them to fight?
I think just the remnant of the Imperial Super Commandos, I guess. Somehow Saxon returned.
No.
I don't know.
No, because I was gonna say, because if you're gonna say that, then you also have to know they worked for Thrawn. Like they worked essentially directly for him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look something real fast. Something that will pertain to this. Is this a good? I'm trying to get like a good picture of this. Give me 1 second. Dang it! You know, you would think I would learn by now that you zoom in, and.
But I very much think that they are. I don't think they're now. Maybe they could go with a storyline I think would be interesting. is that the Praetorian Guards are Mandalorians.
Maybe. I'm trying to see right now something, but I can't get a good, like, clear image of it right now. I'm gonna have to go see if StarWars.com has.
What are you
what
trying
I'm
to look
looking
for?
I'm trying to look for a galaxy map.
Okay. But what? Okay, so if Praetorians are in it, do you think it pertains to Grogu and Snoke? Right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
Now,
almost
let me
certainly.
let me also ask: do you think it's Thrawn who's like spearheading this project?
Yeah, I would see Palpatine trusting Thrawn for this project.
Yeah, what's weird to me is that I don't know if Thrawn really cares about the Empire at the point, like after 10 years.
No, but you'd also have to think that, like, if Thrawn helped him with this, he could help when, because he would assume Palpatine would take back over with the Final Order, that he would protect the Chiss from being, blown up like Kajimi was,
Right. By the Grisk.
or yeah, whatever they're called.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I could see that. Maybe. It just really all depends. Right? But the Praetorians, I think this is crosswired. I don't think they're actually Praetorian guards. I think it's just Imperial forces that are left. Some Mandalorians that are loyal to the Empire. Um,
Yeah,
that's how I feel. I don't think it's necessarily Snoke. I think it could be for sure.
yeah.
Um,
I'm trying to look right now. So, trying to look, where is our favorite crackhead planet Mandalore on this map? There it is. Nope, that's Malastare. Um,
the fuel planet with the
yeah,
Zillo Beast.
yes. Okay, so Mandalore is pretty far away from the unknown regions.
Right.
Octo, apart from Exegol, Octo is the closest planet to the unknown regions, and Jeddah. Jeddah's pretty close too. Um, Weirdly enough, like all of the sequel planets are closer to the unknown regions. Like everything from like Disney is close to the unknown regions.
That's funny.
Exegol's closed, Octo's closed, Batu's closed, Takodana's closed, Jakku's closed, Jeddah's closed, the Ring of um, Kefrine is closed, Endor and Kefbir are closed.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, because from this point to go to Exegol, I mean, it's far. You're gonna have to pass through Ithor and Ord Mantell, but like it's like almost a straight shot from Mandalore to the unknown region. Now, obviously, they'd have to stop for fuel along the way, but um, yeah, I mean, I could see it making total sense because around Mandalore, you have to take in mind there is Dathomir, Yavin, Lothal,
Well, it's also the moons, and I could also see Thrawn being on one of
Concordia,
the moons.
Concordia.
Concordon.
Yeah. Uh, Again, there's a lot of major planets surrounding Mandalore. Again, the two biggest ones here being Dathomir and Yavin.
Yeah,
So
I just don't think that. So are you trying to say that Thrawn's on one of those two?
no, I think he's on Mandalore. I think he's either on Mandalore or he's on Concordia.
I don't think that because I don't think because then. So are you going to say Thrawn's first appearance will be in season 3 of The Mandalorian?
No, I think I don't know. I think I think we're gonna probably get Moff Gideon back. Almost certainly, someone's gonna break him out, and because my thing is this: who do you make the villain of the season? Season 1 and 2 was Moff Gideon.
Uh, all I'm going to say on that, it's not Gideon.
Almost certainly, because like, how do you bring that man back? Like, obviously, you break him out of prison, but how's he gonna regroup and be like, all right, I'm the bad guy.
I will say, and I also want to get into this discussion, and now it kind of segues good into the next couple of articles. So this comes to us from Bespin Bulletin again, another great source. Again, these are all rumors, so this is not substantiated. Basically in this article, he says we're gonna get the mines of Mandalore.
Makes
It's a
sense.
cave. It's black sand or dirt in front of it.
Makes sense. Makes
Um,
sense.
Around the same time that they were building this cave, they're on a mountain with snow. In the background, you see Din, the armorer, Paz Vizsla. It's connected to the cave set.
Mm.
So we're gonna get the mines of Mandalore, and then this leads. I'm gonna try my best to not spoil much in this last article, because by the way, this does pertain spoilers for some of the final episodes. I'm just gonna read the headlines basically. Unification of Mandalore, a purification ceremony, and this one, Mythosaur. And then the Praetorians are in a cave with an Imperial door set. I don't know. I still think they're Imperial Mandalorians that are remnant.
Yeah.
So, what I think happens at the end of the show, and it makes sense, Din Djarin is crowned the rightful ruler of Mandalore. He unites the Mandalorians. And I will say there is kind of a civil war on Mandalore. But and this cave plays a big part of it, and it's everyone, literally everyone. The big battle takes place on a frozen lake with Grogu in his mech, and it's pretty big. So let me ask you this, Alex: the original premise of the show was a Mandalorian and about the unification of Mandalore.
Mm-hmm.
I think the show should end. The Mandalorian, the show, should end after season 3, especially if Din is the rightful ruler and crowned as we think he's going to be. It should end. Not Din Djarin's character, but the
Yeah.
show of the Mandalorian.
But then where do you go from there?
Yeah,
Where
he's
do
the
you?
king.
But then, like, okay, well, where is this man at during the sequel trilogy? He's not old during this series.
Well, I'm not saying Din's character is done, right? He still can appear in other stuff in the Filoniverse, but his arc, he's arced out. We've established him as this character, and now he's a big player. And then what I really think the next, like the first 3 seasons of The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett are kind of like phase 1. It sets up your hero. Phase 2, it's going to set up the Jedi of this time, and it's also going to set up your big boy villain, Thrawn. Phase 3, that's when all hell breaks loose. We get the battle. So, do you want, if Din is purified, again, it feels very type of religious thing. He probably goes to the mines of Mandalore, but
Mm.
he's not cast of all of his sins. I think he's just purified as the ruler, and I think with the Mythosaur, he probably tames it,
Yeah.
and that's probably a big thing. Like Din will be like the first time, and we've seen a lot of rulers of Mandalore. He will be the first one to really unite everything because he will follow all the
Mm.
legends. He'll be the only one to be able to tame the Mythosaur because maybe of the magical properties of the Darksaber. That'd be something cool.
Right.
Like the Darksaber is able to like tame the Mythosaur. He'll be able to ride it. Oh my! I'm just picturing that.
Could you imagine in the final fight against Thrawn, you see Din riding in the Mythosaur and
Oh
Boba on
my
the
god,
Rancor, just rushing into
bro!
battle like a big endgame march.
Oh my god! And Din just has the Darksaber like blocking blaster shots, and
Oh my
oh
god.
my
I could just
god,
imagine the Avengers Assemble thing could be Din yelling like for Mandalore
yeah!
and
Oh
just a
my,
big onslaught charge.
oh my god.
Because the weird thing is like the capital of Mandalore was blown up in the Night of a Thousand Tears. So like where have the people been at?
I don't know, but I think this cave obviously is going to be massive, and I think it's going to be everyone. I think
Yeah.
everyone's going to be there.
Oh,
Bo.
and I think when we both meet everyone, We mean everyone.
Every
Like
Mandalorian,
Luke.
like Finn Rao, like I
No,
think Finn Rao.
I'm talking Luke, Ahsoka.
Oh, really?
I think they're gonna. How could you not include them?
By the way, Axe Wolves. There was a report today. They literally pictures of him on set.
Yeah.
Um, so they're doing reshoots right now. So
But do you
wow,
think, Drew? Do you think the show still lines up for a December release?
I think so.
I think late December,
Well,
early
actually, now that I
January.
think of it, so we kind of have a better idea of the schedule at this point now. So if Andor's in August, that will take us to October, probably early November because it's 12 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bad Batch is coming out this year. Can I be honest?
I don't either. And I think, I mean, Disney's shown us that they don't care if two shows release at the same time. Maybe during Andor, some of the
Maybe.
episodes, maybe like um, maybe have it come out after Kenobi, like 2 weeks after.
I wouldn't mind. Excuse me. If they did this, if they're gonna do 16 episodes, do it over a month, but just drop 4 episodes at a time.
Jesus, they cannot do 16 episodes again. They cannot do. I'm sorry.
Especially with the weekly release, it just doesn't work. Especially for the streaming model. Now, for the television model, it worked. The Clone Wars and Rebels was a different time, but for the
Yeah,
streaming model,
yeah. But I'm
it doesn't
sorry.
necessarily work.
Like, if Bad Batch is coming out when a live action show, hell, I wouldn't care if it was Miss Marvel. I would not watch it. If it's coming out on its own, I'll watch it. But if it's coming out during a live action show, no chance.
Now,
I'll watch
I
it.
want to go back. I want to go back to the Mandalorian thing. Do you think with the mines of Mandalore involved, when Din goes into the mines,
Sorry.
do you think do you think it is for him to become a member of the Watch again, or do you think it's just like the
My whole thing,
ceremony?
I'm still confused why he wants to go there. Like he was shined out, like he was shunned out by his people, which also, like he clearly showed, like I think I said this in the episode when he does this. He literally then goes to to that droid and says, "I'm a Mandalorian." It's like, okay, so I guess that whole interaction didn't matter because you don't care.
Right. Yeah, it's very odd. It's very odd. And maybe he gets like why are the armor and Paz Vizsla there? They're not supposed to help him.
It's weird. It's like,
I'm sure it'll be all explained, and it's gonna,
yeah,
dude. Just by reading it, it's gonna be like a mythosaur itself sounds crazy. A
I know. Well,
purification,
we've never seen one before.
a purification serum, like, and not to go too spoiler here, but like,
We're gonna have to talk after this, and you're gonna have to explain this to me. Some of this,
do you want it? Do you
yeah,
want it?
I'll take it. I'll probably forget. So, so like,
Okay, so basically, this is
no, no, no,
how.
no, 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 not on here, not on here, not on here, not on here. Keep this
Why?
vague. Keep this vague. I'm talking about some of the stuff that we're not talking about on here, and you know what?
This I'll just say this: there's a crazy chant that happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's crazy stuff with the mythosaur. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sounds like it. Potentially rumored, allegedly.
Mythosaur. I think it's real.
I do too.
Dude, I am so bro. Just by reading those, I was like, oh, I one of the reasons I love reading is because you visualize things in your head and you create the picture for yourself. As much as I love movies and stuff, just visualizing this. Just Alex, just visualize a Mandalorian Civil War in live action.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me how that sounds. Tell me how that sounds right now. It sounds beautiful.
It's beautiful. Sounds like the Clone Wars, but real.
Right. Just with no cities, just a desert.
Yeah, kind of. Like you got to think that planet at one point was luscious, full of grass. That planet
to
was
say glass.
that planet was turned to glass twice.
Yeah, probably
At
a
that
lot
point,
more than that.
At that point, just blow it up.
I think Boba Fett was onto something. He was like, "You gotta be kidding me, Mandalore."
That planet was turned to glass. Everyone was like, "What do you mean by that?"
Yeah.
And then we're like,
Bro.
"Oh, it was literally like not metaphorically. It was actually blown up. Like
Right, yeah. Um, and look at Conquer Dawn, bro. Like that planet's like that. Look
Falling
at
apart.
yeah.
Hey man, I don't judge. I don't judge.
It's so weird that like Concordia has all of the best warriors, but that planet's in the best shape out of
Yeah,
all of them.
crazy.
It's so funny.
Welcome to Star Wars.
Right, right. Uh, you got anything else to talk about?
Nope.
Yeah, what a great show. We will be back next week sometime for a Moon Knight preview. What?
Moon
It's come
Knight.
up on us already.
Batman.
Oh, the
Batman.
oh
He's
no.
coming to the MCU.
Oh
He's
no.
gonna bring
Oh no.
vengeance.
Oh no. We're gonna talk about Moon Knight next week. I'm super excited for that. That's my most hype Marvel project, Marvel TV show this year. Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, that's gonna do it. Obviously, we talked about Rebels, did a question of the week, talked about Miss Marvel, and then talked about this crazy Mandalorian season 3 stuff as vaguely as we could. But yeah, that's gonna do it. As always, thank you. May the force be with you, and may you stay burdened with glorious purpose.